Hello guys, in today's video I'll be showcasing how I do the top-down analysis starting from the daily time frame all the way to the M3 or the 3-minute time frame, of course my execution time frame. I'll be using USD because it is the pair that I'm actually focused on. And yeah, so without further ado, let me break this trade which I took earlier. And yeah, so exactly right here we can clearly see that price has been making break of structures. You can see that breaks of these pullbacks, valid pullback. You can see another break here of this valid pullback. This here was also a valid pullback and price made that break. But now here, instead of actually price making a break past the high, it made a break past the low exactly right here. You can clearly see price made a break past the low before now reversing back, breaking past this high. So now we say that once we see such a pattern, then this qualifies a bullish break of structure, because actually you can see price took the low, confirming this one here as a swing point, and then after price reversing, breaking past it, then that's a bullish break of structure. So now I'll be using these swing point markers exactly here. Of course, we are bullish, so exactly right there. And since we have a break of structure, then we can clearly say that this here is the low of the trading range. Of course, that's the low of our trading range, and the high of the trading range, of course, it will be this one here. This one here will be the high of the trading range. After identifying our trading range, we know the next move is actually marking the inducement. We can clearly see that this one here is the inducement, and in this case is a minor inducement. Why minor inducement? It occurred before the break of structure. So that's the minor inducement. And right now, let's mark the POIs. I can clearly see that this one here is the extreme order flow. So can clearly see that in this case we cannot use the order flow. So I will now be focused on the order blocks. And the decision order block, you can clearly see it's this one here, but in this case it was before the inducement. So this means that's a smart money trap. Even though that's the decisional, it's a smart money trap, or I will use it as a smart money trap because price has yet taken out the inducement. So in this case, I'll just use it as an SMT. As you can clearly see, price made a rejection from it and then later failed it. So right now we are left with the extreme, and I'll be using this here as the extreme. The color for the extreme, I usually use the blue for the valid bull OB. And right now you can clearly see price has yet mitigated it. So this means that all right, I can clearly see this such an interesting part here. This is what we call an inverse fair value gap. Yep, and I will use that one. And you can clearly see price here after mitigating the inverse fair value gap, it made this reversal reaction. Probably price will just make such a bullish move and then later reverse back to mitigate the valid zone, or sweep this major inducement before making this ultimate move. The reason is why I'm saying this is the major is because you can clearly see that this is the minor inducement, and since that's the minor, then this means that the external liquidity is the major inducement. So price can reverse after the mitigation of this extreme order block, or fail the order block and sweep this major inducement before making the ultimate move. So right now, the task that I need to know is how far will price bullishly react from this inverse fair value gap before reversing back to our valid zone? Will it go all the way past like there, or just reverse from where it is? So now to know that, I will need more data, and that is where now I shift to the lower time frame. So of course I'll be shifting to the 4 hour. Right, so onto the 4 hour, we can clearly see here such an interesting pattern. Here we can clearly see that it's bearish. You can clearly see the 4 hour is bearish, and I can see this pattern here that price has taken out this inducement. Taken out a high and then later reversed, breaking past this swing point. And we said once such a pattern is formed, then this means that we have just made a bearish break of structure. This means that we are in a trading range ranging from, right, let me do this. So this one here is the trading range high, and of course the trading range low, it is none other than this one here. So this one here will be now the trading range low. Yep, so that's the trading range low. And if that's the trading range low, then the next step is usually marking the inducement. And in this case, I'm just seeing the major inducement, and the major inducement is this one here. So let me zoom probably for, so right here you can clearly see that this one here is the major inducement, and price has already taken out that. So the next step, marking the POIs, and right here you can clearly see that price has, all right, so this here was the extreme and it is already mitigated. I'll use this color to represent an invalid one. Then this one here was the next one, all of this swing, and this here is the one that caused the break of structure, so it will be the decisional, but I will not call it the decisional because it is actually the extreme. So let me use this color for the valid order flow. So that's the valid order flow, I mean the decisional order flow, but I will use it as the extreme because you can clearly see this here was the extreme but it was mitigated. So this means in this case we only have one valid order flow. Why am I calling this valid? Probably you may see something like this and you think that this order flow is mitigated. We say that a mitigated order flow is by a valid pullback, and you can clearly see that this is not a valid pullback. So this means that our valid order flow is sound and clean. And since an order flow is a valid reversal zone, then this means that there's a possibility that price may reverse all the way towards the ultimate reversal, making out to this extreme order block before now reversing back, or again it can fail this extreme order block because we said there is a major inducement down below, and price may decide to give just a reaction and then go for the major inducement before making the ultimate reversal. So that's also something that we need to look for, but for now I'm not interested in that because that will take so much time for price to actually achieve that. Right now I'm actually interested with this price here. Price has done this, so probably swing traders are looking forward to sell off this zone. So right now I'll be shifting to the 15-minute so that I can confirm the sell. All right, so exactly right here on the 15-minute, we can clearly see that this one here is a valid break of structure. I mean, this one here is a valid break of structure. Why am I calling this one here as a valid break of structure? Is because price has taken out, you can clearly see the same pattern that exactly right here. This here was a break of a valid pullback. Again, another break. So that was a break of a valid pullback. Another break was right here. But then price made a break past this low of this valid pullback before actually breaking past this high. So we said once a pattern is formed, then we have a valid break of structure to the upside. So this creates a valid break of structure to the upside, and I'll be using these markers to mark the swing point because we are actually bullish. So exactly right there, and this one here. But right now, remember that we have just mitigated the extreme. I mean the extreme order flow, which is a reversal zone. So this means that we are bearish at the moment, and this one here, which was the inducement, will now change its role from being an inducement to now being a change of character. And so after that, then where is the inducement? Of course, this here is the inducement. So that's the inducement, and you can clearly see price has yet taken out the inducement. This one here is the decisional because it is the one that caused the change of character. So that's the decisional. I'll use this color to represent a valid BLB. So let me do this. Yes, and then this one here is the extreme. Exactly right here, that's the extreme order block. And where is the engineering liquidity? This one here is the engineering liquidity. So right now you can clearly see that, and also this reversal was happening after a mitigation of this extreme order block on this move. You can clearly see after price has mitigated this extreme order block, price made that valid reaction to the upside. So this means that someone else will be buying from here targeting this high, which will be a suicide because we can clearly see that this here is a valid zone, and this is the reason as to why top down analysis is actually recommended. So now a swing trader right now is waiting for price to mitigate either the decisional or the extreme before he or she can participate into this trade. But for me, with a trading window, of course, after the Asia range, so you can clearly see that this is the Asia range right here. So that's the low and that's the high of the Asia range. For me, I will just be looking forward to, so this means for me, I will just be looking forward to buy towards these zones so that I can catch this entry inside my trading window. You can clearly see this is the Asia high, this is the Asia low, and we know that there is like, and we know that the Asia high and the Asia low are liquidity pools. So probably someone here has seen the Asia high being taken out and also zoomed in and saw this valid order block here. So this order block exactly right there, and he or she saw this reaction and probably looking forward to sell, but this here is a smart money trap. We know why that's a smart money trap. We can clearly see that it occurred before the major inducement. So probably price is now reacting from this zone just to lure these early sellers, which saw this Asia high being taken out and a mitigation of this order block, looking forward to sell. These are just sellers that will be induced, so meaning price will just make this move and then later reverse back towards this zone or this zone before making the ultimate reversal towards the Asia low. So right now my task is to know where price will react from so that it can make this bullish move all the way to these zones. So that's my my task right now, and we can clearly see right now this is where now the counter trend playbook comes in play, and I can clearly see that price has done this even without shifting to the lower time frame. This 15-minute is actually giving me something here. I can clearly see price has taken out this low, so this means I have my swing points, of course, right there, and the other one here, these are the bull swing points. So this means I have this one here as the trading range low, and of course the trading range high, it will be this one here. So right now, where is the inducement? Of course, I can clearly see that this here is the inducement, and right now price is reacting off this SMT. So probably price will continue to sell all the way towards something here to mitigate before making the buy. So right now I cannot see any valid zone here, so I'll be shifting to the 3-minute time frame so that I can see the bigger picture. And onto the 3-minute time frame, I can clearly see that this one here is the extreme order block. So I'll be using the color blue to signify a valid order block. So that one, and then I can clearly see that this one here is what we call the engineering liquidity. So where is the decisional? The one that actually caused the breakout structure, it is this one here, but you can clearly see it was mitigated. So this means I'm only interested for a reaction, I mean a valid sweep of this major inducement, a valid sweep of the engineering liquidity, or a mitigation of this extreme order block or the origin order block. So that's when now you set your buy limit order exactly right there, stop loss below there, and of course targeting this major inducement. Of course, I cannot extend my buy. I cannot extend my TP all the way to this extreme because I don't know if price may just sweep this inducement and give the ultimate reversal, or mitigate the decisional, or sweep this engineering liquidity. So to be safe, I'll just place my full TP at that inducement. And right now, let me run price and see what price unfolds. All right, so exactly right there, let me make this speed, and exactly right there you can clearly see that price has mitigated my zone very perfectly here, and you can clearly see the low is still protected, so this means my SL is sound. You can clearly see there, and right now let's see what price will eventually do. Right, so price is heading towards my direction, and exactly right there, in no time, price made it out to full TP. And yeah, so that's the trade. And this trade I even shared, I mean, I didn't share the analysis, but I shared this. I shared that I took this trade on my X and also on my free Telegram channel. This is a counter trend playbook. Before inducement internal structure, this is the first counter trend playbook, and there are 4 in number. And since many of you guys have been requesting for the counter trend playbook, and I'm launching a bootcamp, a 10-day bootcamp showcasing this counter trend playbook, and it's very easy to understand, especially if you have mastered the pro trend. So if you're interested to join the bootcamp, you can access the bootcamp details on the free Telegram channel. Of course, if you want to join, you can use the link in the description of this video. Anyway, let's see where price will reverse from. So let me get back to the 15-minute and see where price will reverse from. All right, so onto the 15-minute, let's see where price will reverse from. You can see price has mitigated the decisional, and it's actually making that reaction. So let's see where price will be reversing from. All right, price failed the decisional, and you can see the reaction is after the mitigation of this extreme. Probably the entry will be on this scope. So yep, I'll do something like that. I can place here, but I can clearly see that there is a rejection block up here. So this will make me not place my sell above the order block. So I'll just be I'll place the sell at this high, and of course targeting the Asia low, because that's the liquidity pool that I'm looking forward for right now. And yes, let's see. All right, so exactly right there, price mitigated, triggered my sell limit order, and eventually you can clearly see made it out to my full TP. So exactly guys, this here is a swing trade. This here is a swing trade, and it's also a pro trend trade. This one here is a counter trend trade. You can see we were buying into the zone. So this is a counter trend trade, and this is the first counter trend setup on the counter trend playbook that I'll be showcasing in the bootcamp. So if you're interested to know the counter trend setups, then you can access the bootcamp details on the free Telegram channel. I said the link will be into this video description. So I know that you have learned something on this video. So do me a favor and drop a like. And also, if you guys saw this video interesting and you'd want me to create more of this, then let me know and I'll be happy to share with you guys. So see you in the next video. Peace.